So how did I get into raw foods? How did I come into this 80-10-10 lifestyle? I came into it in 2001. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I had enough. I just had another bout of chronic fatigue. I had no real fitness. I was up and down with fitness. I was like, wanted to be fit, couldn't be fit, didn't have enough energy to train. And then get a bit better, try and train, get like lung conditions, more asthma, Crohn's disease was just up and down. I was like, all right, enough is enough. And someone mentioned vegetarian diet to me, and I was like, vegetarian diet? Okay, crazy, but I'll give it a go. I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I went vegetarian, felt better straight away. Cut out all animal flesh foods, still eating eggs and dairy. And then a week later, I was like, hang on, eggs are periods from chickens, and milk is for baby cows. I'm not doing that anymore, ever. So I ditched them. And literally the next day, I was like, wow, I can breathe. And my stomach feels even flatter when I wake up in the morning. And wow, this is really good. This is really good. And then I just went on the Dr. McDougall style program. I was living on rice, literally living on rice with soy sauce, oatmeal, and some soy milk in the morning with a bit of cinnamon and a bit of sugar on there. Potatoes with sauce and ketchup, things like that. And I just felt incredible. My acne went away, my Crohn's disease went away, my asthma went away, my chronic fatigue went away, my depression went away, things like that. Just see you later. And my performance, my fitness level, I can chart it, man. I can chart it. In 2001, I went vegan, and my fitness was like this. And when it went vegan, high carb, low fat, it just went like that. And it's just continually going like that. And at age 34 now, 10 years later, I'm the fittest in my life. Judging by my times in running from the mile to the marathon, set personal bests all year in 2011. Cycling, fastest climbing ever. My biggest day on the bike is 515 kilometers. And when I was eating meat, biggest day on the bike was 257 kilometers. So I've doubled my endurance, doubled my stamina, which is unheard of without drugs. Unheard of. And my next goal for cycling is to crack 600 kilometers in 24 hours solo. I've already done 620 kilometers in 24 hours in a group of riders. I've done 1,243 kilometers, Paris in 51 hours 30, no support, but in a group of riders. But I've never done solo just by myself. So we'll see, 600 Ks in a day is coming up. Anyway, so how I got into raw food, so I did the McDougall program, worked great, fantastic. And then I picked up a book one day called Raw Life. I was in a bookshop, I had a voucher and I didn't know what to get. And I was like, raw foods, yeah, I mean, that's cool. I'm eating fruit for breakfast now. I've read Fit for Life and eating fruit for breakfast. Yeah, I feel good on that. So I picked up Paul Neeson's book, Raw Life, and I'm like, hang on, what's this dude saying? Rice is bad, beans are bad, 100% raw. Wow, that's interesting. So I read the book, got the book, and I like Paul's style. Paul's a pretty cool guy. Give him a bit of crap on the internet, but he's a pretty chill guy. And so reading the book, fantastic. Did the raw food thing for a bit. Felt like even better because I started eating more fruit then. But I wasn't eating enough fruit because in the book Paul says, you know, you want to, a breath air is a possibility. Man doesn't need food. He quoted Hilton Hotem as man's highest consciousness. I think, wow, we don't need to eat. And I sort of believe that for a bit because I respected what Paul Neeson said for how he's an author. Maybe he knows what he's on about. And when it comes to breatharian, man, that ain't ever happening. Ever. That's like trying to throw this MacBook all the way to Los Angeles. I'm going to pick it up and I'm just going to throw it in LA, Santa Monica Beach. Boom, there it is. Never going to fucking happen, but people will tell you it could probably happen. So, got on the raw foods, read Paul Neeson's book. Good book, fun book. But it didn't give me any caloric sufficiency knowledge there. I didn't know how to get enough fuel because I was eating like 5 bananas for breakfast or 5 bananas for lunch at work. And everyone around me is going, "You're eating 5 bananas for lunch, Harley? I think you've got a fucking problem." And I was like, "Oh, really? Like, is that too many bananas? Oh, maybe." And so I was just fading. I was flailing. And then I'd go out training with the guys or racing. And I'd be good for the first 20 minutes, half an hour. And then I'd just be like, "Oh." And they're like, "Wow, mate, raw food diet's working for you." Not. And so I just go back to McDougall program, and I just had fruit for lunch and fruit for breakfast, and then rice and potatoes for dinner. Did that for years, and it worked fantastically. And then I was like, no, I want to do raw food because I had a glimpse of feeling just that little bit better, And I'm like, I want to go back there. And then I was like, okay, I'll eat raw food, nut desserts and stuff like that. So I was eating a lot of cashews and macadamias and almonds. And then I got Dave Wolf's book, and he said, limit the fruit, man. Don't eat bananas and dates because they're hybrid. Just eat seeded watermelon and things like that, and avocados. I was eating a lot of seeded watermelon, which is hard to get calories from, almost impossible to get calories from, to be high energy. Eating avocados, and I was just like, oh my god, now I may feel even worse because I've just got no stamina. And then I was like, hang on. And then Dave Wolf started selling cacao, and I'm like, oh, cacao, I can eat that. And I was eating cacao, getting wired on cacao, then crashing the next day because cacao is so toxic. It's full of theobromine, neurotoxin, classified biologically. Look it up, cacao neurotoxin. And then I was just like, what's going on here? And then I remember when I read Paul Nissen's book, there's an article interview with Dr. Doug Graham. And I looked at this dude and thought, wow, that dude's really fit, and what he says makes sense. And so, but I started eating more fruit, and everyone told me I was eating too much fruit, and then I read Dave Wolf's book, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I started emailing Doug Graham, because I still had that glimpse of feeling really well on the bananas. So I emailed Doug Graham and said, what's going on here? I felt good for a bit, and then I crashed. And he's like, what are you eating? And I'm like, I'm eating this. And he goes, that's too much fat, not enough carbs, not enough calories. And I'm like, oh, I don't count calories. I don't have a weight problem. He's going, you got an energy problem, man. You don't have enough stamina to go as hard as you want to go when you want to go hard. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. So he said, you need to eat X, Y, Z amount of carbs per day. And I'm like, man, I don't count calories. And he's like, great, you don't have to count calories, just don't expect good energy levels. And I was like, yeah, whatever, mate. And I was a bit cocky with him back then, and I just sort of thought, yeah, whatever. And I just sort of would just yo-yo, you know, fruit, rice, got the fat down. Still felt amazing. Felt better than the high-fat raw, obviously. Everyone does. But then I was still like, oh man, this Doug Graham dude's pissing me off because I know he's fucking right, and I really need to learn how to put enough fuel in the tank. So I bought his book, Nutrition, Athletic Performance, and I was like,